I would like to start this 10 minutes presentation talking about Brazilian Senate program called E-Cidadania, and later about our remote deliberation system, the SDR in the Portuguese acronym. Well, in Brazil, the Senate has a feature in its website called E-Cidadania, which can be translated as a citizen participation, that offers the opportunity for citizens to use digital media and influence the legislative process in three ways: submitting law ideas, participating in interactive events, and voting on public consultation. Well, let's talk about law ideas first of all. The first two is the possibility of any citizen to present an idea for a new law. The person fills in an online registration form and can send his or her idea to the Senate. Then the idea goes through a moderation filter to avoid offensive, criminal, repeated, and non-legislative ideas. After that, the idea is published on the Senate website and can receive support by other citizens during 4 months. If it reaches 20,000 supports in 4 months, the idea is formalized and sent to the Human Rights Senate Committee. It's the Human Rights and Citizen Participation Committee. If the committee approves, the idea turns into a formal proposition, and the senators discuss it and vote on following the regular rules of the legislative process, the standing rules. The program started in 2012, and in 7 years, 37,000 people have submitted 57,000 ideas. 122 received over 20,000 support, and 38 of them already received a report from the Human Rights Senate Committee, and 10 of them became formal propositions. Some of them have already been voted and approved by Senate. The ideas that now are propositions have a wide range of subjects: criminalization of anti-homosexual assaults, decriminalization of cannabis, tax reductions, environmental protection, and even income raise of public servants. Well, let's talk about the interactive events. The second two is the possibility of citizens to participate online in the Senate committee hearings. Brazil's Senate has weekly hearings to debate law proposition and to argue authorities that goes from agency presidents to ambassadors and Supreme Court justices. Those sections are open to the public, either to visit in person or to participate online via the e-Cidadania feature, as people can watch live on YouTube. After registering on the Senate website, a citizen can submit its questions or comments to the panel. The chairman of the committee receives all the questions and chooses the best ones to ask the speakers. Every year since it started, the program has grown. In 2013, there were 54 interactive events and less than 300 people participated. Last year, we had 464 hearings with the participation of over 14,000 questions or comments sent in the hearings by people watching the session online. Hearings that are recorded the hearings that recorded the biggest participation were transparency in the public contract with industry sectors, the Alexandre de Moraes nomination to the Supreme Court, and voluntary termination of pregnancy, abortion. Well, let's talk about the third tool. The public consultation is a tool available to the public about every single proposition discussed in the Senate. Again, the citizen is required to fill in a registration form, and then he or she can vote, can say the opinion online for or against any law project, constitutional amendment, and other propositions. The results are updated in real time, and the senators have access to a share of the public opinion. They are not obligated to follow the results, but there have been cases in which senators have dropped propositions after overwhelming negative results in the polls. Since it started in 2013, over 8 million citizens have voted in 7,000 propositions. The number have increased over the years, going from just 500 people to over 4 million in 2018. Three propositions received more than 1,600,000 votes. The e-cidadania feature of the Senate website has around 130 million access per year. Well, that was a brief view over the e-cidadania, our citizenship program, but I would like to talk about the SDR in our acronym Portuguese, our remote deliberation system. And I'd like to start with a motto that our team has spontaneously adopted during this pandemic situation. In times of crisis, Parliament cannot stop. Along with universal and periodical elections, the normal operation of Parliament is the most obvious and indispensable element of a nation's democratic nature. Today, our aim is to share the expertise, the know-how in the French sense of savoir-faire, developed by the Brazilian Senate as of March the 13th, and also learn from other experience. When we identify the imminent risk represented by the senators' on-site meetings in the Brazilian capital, we concluded these gatherings should not take place due to the coronavirus pandemic outbreak. Well, first of all, what do we understand as the Brazilian Senate Remote Deliberation System, SDR? It is a system made of 4 parts: a video conferencing tool provided by a third-party enterprise, a remote protocol tool developed by the IT team of Brazilian Senate to receive amendments, new propositions, new ideas from the senators. Third, a remote secure voting tool developed by a Brazilian enterprise hired by the Senate in 7 calendar days. We have a little 3-minute video to show a little bit about this. And a set of operational guidelines in the how-to-do basis to integrate these 3 other solutions. SDR video conferencing solution was implemented at the Brazilian Senate through the same software used by several enterprises. It was chosen due to features essential to the smooth running of the session, such as control of participants' microphones. This feature is associated with the possibility of virtual raising hands to speak, and by means of a digital button, sure. Thus, it is possible to maintain the order of speeches, something crucial to hand the floor to all members in an organized manner. In addition, in devices such as the desktop computers and notebooks, the software is capable of simultaneously showing video from a greater number of participants than other similar solutions. At the Brazilian Senate, the software was acquired in a version that allows the simultaneous participation of up to 300 users. We have the Brazilian Senate have 81 senators. In addition, but the House have 513. In addition, participants who do not have access to the internet, and this is very important, or a device with the necessary resources for their participation in time of the session, will be able to access it by a conventional toll-free telephone, which is quite relevant in locations where internet access is not sufficiently stable. For this, the video conferencing software provides a toll-free number and a specific access code for the meeting. The participant's connection will work in the same way as the others, but without the video broadcast. At the Brazilian Senate, we have chosen to go 100% remote. I'm aware that other parliaments have preferred to adopt a semi-remote solution with some MPs, especially party leaders, physically present at the hall. Well, let me show you some pictures of the implementation of our solution. Okay, here you see our virtual plenary, or our bunker, as we call it, our spatial and central infrastructure for the video conference. Although the video conferencing software is accessible by any kind of device, such as a desktop computer, a notebook, or a mobile phone, the use of a centralized space with better infrastructure to chair the meeting is paramount. This place gathers the chair of the session, the speaker, secretaries, filming crew, among with other people essential to record keeping and the smooth running of the business. At the Brazilian Senate, we use a space with 6 workstations and with microphones and webcams, which accommodate, in addition to the chair, the rapporteur, the secretary, and the assistant. Let me yes, some photos. The closeness of these participants allows the chair to conduct the session while their assistants control the microphones, the order of the speeches, and calculate the votes when necessary. And we have assured the minimum distance recommended by healthcare. At the same time, other teams such as communications team do the proper broadcasting. It is necessary, for instance, that the microphone control be done in person to ensure the promptness of granting of the floor. In addition to the workstations connected to the internet, the Senate space has a video wall with 14 screens of 55 inches controlled by 2 computers and a sound system. We understand, however, that the minimum requirement is the existence of 3 screens, 3 TV screens of 50 inches, for example. The one of the left showing the voting panel, the one in the middle focused on the MEP who is speaking. This is the voting panel. In the middle, a TV focus the one who is speaking, and at right, for example, the one with the matrix showing the video of the other participants. This arrangement can be done, for example, with a single computer controlling the 3 screens of two computers, one showing the voting panel and the other showing the video conferencing images. Why I explain this, Luis, I would like to show that it's not a very expensive installation. With 3 TVs, 2 computers, and a $200 signature of a license of a video conferencing tool, it's possible to have result similar to this one we are showing now. We also had to deal with the situation of a new senator that had to take possession of his duty during a remote session. Let me show you. I have a picture of this. There you go. We have done this inside the plenary bunker, and the other senators saw the new senator take his oath remotely. I would like also to emphasize that the Senate's remote deliberation system was designed to work in emergencies like a war, natural disasters, and pandemics, when the on-site meetings are not possible. The rules set for the operation of the system presuppose these conditions. Therefore, we recommend using remote deliberation only to vote on matters that are urgent and cannot wait for the normalization of the situation. I believe that the remote deliberation system should not be trivialized. Although it is modern, it's sophisticated, and even fancy, it has the natural limitations imposed by physical distance. I am convinced that personal and direct contact between the members of parliament is essential for good parliamentary debate. The periods in which members normally address the audience before the votes should be avoided in order to promote a more objective session in this remote system, this remote way of doing parliamentary. The operation is stressful. Unless we have several training teams, a sole team seems to have an operational limit of 12 hours of session per week. If it is necessary to operate for a longer period or daily sessions, I strongly recommend that teams be organized on a rotation system. Equally, I understand that SDR should only be used in plenary sessions, not in committee sessions. Obviously, other parliaments may have different approaches to this issue. Well, a private technological solution was added to our system. This one developed specifically for the Federal Senate. Our technology transfer handbook informs the names of the companies, one American and one Brazilian, and all the work done by the Senate to implement this whole solution. I'd like to show the address of our handbook. This is our technology transfer handbook in 4 languages, in Portuguese, English, Spanish, and French, that can be useful for some people interested. I am aware that other parliaments around the world have already had experience with remote sessions at this time. However, at least based on the information I had access to, we held in Brazil on March 20th the first 100% remote session with nominal, electronic, and safe voting. It had the successful attendance of all senators. This is the reason that we made our technology transfer handbook available, and this is our desire is to share this with the others. Finally, I'll ask for the permission of our host, Mr. Luiz Fernando, to show, if it's possible, a 3-minute video produced by the Senate and already dubbed in English that explains how the Brazilian Senate may vote by their cell phones. May I show it, Mr. Chairman?
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay. So it would be a 3-minute video, and then I'll stop talking. I want very much to hear from Professor Beth. So there
This
we
video
go.
is a tutorial on how to use version 1.1 of the Brazilian Senate remote deliberation system. When a voting session starts, each senator receives on their mobile phone a link sent by the Secretariat General of the Board. In the System Access page, enter your identification code, the same one used for voting in the plenary hall. Then enter the password previously sent by the Secretariat General of the Board. This password is the same one used for remote debate sessions. To prevent typing errors, you can click on this image to visualize the password while entering it. Then click on the I'm not a robot button, and after that, click on Access. When there is an open voting session, the summary and the number of the bill appear on the screen. These are the options for voting: yes, abstention, or no. When the senator chooses one of these, a screen will open to take a picture of the senator. The picture is an authentication tool. A pop-up may ask permission to access your camera. Always reply yes. The picture must be taken to register your vote. After adjusting your image, click on Take a Picture. Then click on Confirm Picture. If necessary, another picture can be taken by going over the procedure again. You will next receive an SMS or WhatsApp message with a code to enter into the system and confirm your vote. Please note, if no message arrives, click here to get a new code. If still no message arrives, the device is probably in an area without a good network connection. In this case, click on the red button that reads Secretariat General of the Board. Our team will contact you for assistance. When your vote has been confirmed, the following will pop up on your screen: Vote successfully registered. In addition to the vote, the system allows access to the panel tab, which contains the same information as the Senate plenary panel. Inside this tab, you can see Leadership Guidance and List, where you can check on the senators who have already voted, organized by state. Please note, the panel tab will be available before you vote if you need to consult the guidance of your party leader. You may change your vote anytime while the voting session is in course. In this case, you will need to go through the whole confirmation procedure again. When the voting session is closed, just click on the panel tab to check the result. Enjoy!
Well, that's all, folks. My final message: in times of crisis, Parliament cannot stop. Thank you very much, and if you can, stay home.